What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another vintage Kenner Star Wars market update, this time for loose graded figures. We've got a nice wide range of figures, and I think every single item that I picked for this video were auctions, and there was some pretty incredible stuff in this one. Everything from early figures, we've got some Cantina Alien Sears packs, some Last 17 figures, so stay tuned for all of the details. Before I dig in any further, a reminder that if you have a collection to sell, whether it's loose graded like we're covering in this video, loose ungraded creatures, vehicles, whatever you got, mint on cards, you can reach out to me at actionfiguregrader@gmail.com and I will put you in touch free of charge with some trusted sellers that I know in the toy community that pay very fair prices. I've had some subscribers do that here recently, and we're talking everything from very small collections to 60 or 70 mint on cards all in one collection. I've got some great sellers that are very trusted, and also for Star Wars Legos. So I do have a friend that is collecting Star Wars Legos and is willing to buy collections. So reach out to me, actionfiguregrader@gmail.com. Let's start off with some early figures. The first one is an interesting one. This is a UKG 80% Death Squad Commander. What's unique about this one is that it's a factory error, and it was missing the red stripe on the emblems, the chest emblems. So as you guys know, if you watch these videos regularly, usually there's a blue and red stripe on his chest, and the blue stripe can come with either the dark blue, which I think is what this is, or a light blue emblem. But in this case, the red was completely missing, and it was graded UKG 80%. And it wasn't labeled as such as a factory error, but very clearly there was no red paint on this one. So pretty cool looking error, and it sold for a good price too. At auction, 68 pounds or about $82 US plus shipping. So very interesting item there. That's the first time I've ever seen that factory error. I don't know how common that is, but just kind of a cool one that I just noticed. A couple of different Farm Boys sold. This is one I really want to get. I have several different loose graded Luke Farm Boys, but I'm missing the Hong Kong with the brown hair. So this is one I definitely would like to pick up, and I thought this price was very fair. UKG 80%. You can see very clearly there, Hong Kong, brown hair, brand new case style, really nice looking figure there. Some wear to the hand, and maybe some pinkish hue going on the limbs, but pretty great looking figure with that brown hair. And that one sold for 169 pounds, which is about $203 US plus shipping. I think that's a very fair price. Even with the global shipping program, it was about 250 bucks, and I'd pay that all day long for a UKG 80%. So that's one I'm going to have to target. I don't have that variant, and I'd like to pick it up. This is one I do have in an AFA 85, and this is the No COO brown hair Luke Farm Boy. This one was graded UKG 80%, again with the brand new case style. So this would appear in like Palatoys or Tri-Logo cards. And I guess the market is valuing this one quite a bit more than the Hong Kong brown hair. Although I find this one to be more common. I find this one all the time, but I don't see the Hong Kong brown hair that much relative to this one. So this one sold for 301 pounds, which is $362 US. After accounting for the global shipping program, you're talking about $410 versus $250 for the Hong Kong in the same grade. So anyway, just a couple of interesting data points for a couple of harder to find brown-haired Lukes. Two different Leias also sold. This was the No COO. That was a UKG 80% with the brand new case style. That one sold, I thought, for a great price as well. It was, I think, originally listed for about 200 or 210 pounds, and then the seller decided to list it at auction, and it sold for 156 pounds, which is 187 US. And then the same seller also had the Hong Kong graded UKG 85%. That one sold for 248 pounds, which is about 300 US. So for a UKG 85% for $330 shipped, that's a pretty good deal in my mind for a nice looking Leia in high grade. So a couple of data points there. This was a lettered saber hilt Hong Kong Vader. This was sold by Vaults of Yavin. I bought from this seller before, and always has really nice high-grade AFA figures. This one was an AFA 85. Again, it was the Hong Kong with the lettered saber hilt. That one sold for about $292 US, free shipping. I thought that was a pretty great price. Next up was a UKG 90% solid dome R2-D2. This one was the Hong Kong, but very high grade, a 90% UKG. And the price reflected that. 526 pounds, which is $633 US. That's a big boy number. That is a really big number, but it was certainly a gorgeous looking figure. It's got some reflections going on from the dome onto the sticker. Those are not sticker defects. It's just kind of reflecting, the silver's reflecting onto the sticker there, but pretty nice looking figure. The sticker was in great shape, hardly any yellowing, if any at all. It did have one little scuff right there, as you can see on the left-hand side of the sticker. So maybe a little overrated, you could argue, but still, that's a really nice looking figure. I mean, the paint on that dome is just flawless. Look at that. I mean, usually you see little scratches and things like that on the dome, but look how flawless that is. That is a gorgeous looking figure. So $633 took home a Hong Kong Solid Dome UKG 90% R2. All right, now we got to dig into these. These were really rare. These are the Cantina Adventure Packs, multi-packs, that were graded UKG 85%. Now, I want to caveat this by saying that AFA, Action Figure Authority, did do a kind of expose on this multi-pack, as well as the one I'm going to show you in a second. And it came out on Facebook probably about 3 or 4 years ago, and they said that there are a ton of fakes for these Cantina packs floating around, and they are very, very good fakes. I mean, I'm talking like very high quality that almost passed muster with AFA. And so AFA tried to warn people, saying, hey, look, just to warn folks, there are some really, really good fakes going on out there that almost fooled us. So be on the lookout. So I'm not saying that these are fake. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that if you're buying these, be very careful. And I wish I could find the Facebook post for that. I just could not find it anywhere on Facebook. So if anyone has it, shoot me an email to actionfiguregrader@gmail.com. But it came out about 3 or 4 years ago on Facebook by AFA, and it was a very detailed with lots of photos, and it showed you what to look for. And if anyone finds it, send me the link, because that way I'll update the video description for this video so people can go check it out. But shout out to Tom Derby and those guys at AFA for kind of exposing it. So all I'm saying is be careful buying these, either graded or ungraded. And again, I'm not saying that these are fake. They're most likely not, okay? But the baggies look perfect and everything, but it was the boxes that were so perfectly faked that they almost passed muster. So anyway, these were graded UKG 85%. So this is one of the Cantina multi-packs that has Walrus Man and Hammerhead in it. That one sold for $826 US or 686 pounds. But the seller had this one. This is the big boy that had Greedo with the blue snaggletooth. And so that is a very desirable one. 2-pack mailer, Kenner. And this one was, again, graded 85% by UKG. That one sold for 2,350 pounds, which equates to a little over 2,800 US dollars. So two very, very rare multi-packs that sold for big money, and they are beautiful. And again, I think that these are perfectly legit. I'm just saying that if you're going to buy a set, make sure they're a trusted seller, especially if they're ungraded, because there are significant fakes floating out there. Next up was a loose graded blue Snags. This one had no toe dent on the boot, and you can see there it's got no toe dent on the right-hand boot, and that one was graded AFA 80. AFA 80 seems really generous to me. I mean, I don't know. You know, there's the torso looks pretty good, I guess. It's maybe just slightly darker. But the boots had quite a bit of scratching going on, so I guess it's an okay 80. I don't know. I think it's fine. But that one sold for $730. I thought that price was very fair, whether it's deserving of the 80 or not. But that was a really nice looking figure, brand new case style. This is another really rare one that I don't remember the last time one of these has come up at auction, but this is the YPS Snow Trooper. And so this was displayed with the YPS magazine, where it came in like a baggie, and this YPS Snow Trooper came inside. And what's unique about the YPS Snow Trooper is that it comes with like a G.I. Joe style AK-47 weapon that you can see there on the left-hand side there. Let's see if the photos show it better here. I wanted to show you a better shot of the weapon, but it looks like all the photos don't do a zoom in of the photo. But basically, it's a black G.I. Joe style Action Force weapon that was packed in with the PBP Double Scar YPS Stormtrooper. So this is a Spanish-made Snow Trooper that came with a G.I. Joe weapon packed in with this magazine. And this was loose graded with the magazine, graded UKG 85%. So pretty cool looking magazine there. And it always goes for big money. This one actually sold for less than I expected. It sold for 913 pounds, which is about 1,100 US dollars. The last one, top of my head, that sold on Facebook was about 1,300 US dollars. So this one's come down just a little bit, but awfully looking. It's an awful nice looking example of the YPS Snowtrooper, kind of a famous off the wall variant that is tough to track down. Next up was a loose graded Wampa. This one was graded UKG 80%, just very slight yellowing to the body on this one, the arms and the torso versus the legs, which are a little bit wider there, but very nice example. Usually you see a lot more kind of damage to the claws. There's a little bit, but not much on this one. So I think it's every bit deserving of the 80% grade. And that one sold for 127 pounds, which is 150 US dollars. I thought that price was great. And then a couple of different Cloud Car pilots sold. This one was sold by CIB, which is affiliated with AFA. It had the older case style, but it was graded uncirculated 85. This was the Hong Kong, obviously. And so you got the older case style, but it is an uncirculated grade. That one sold for 306 US dollars in an auction on March 5th. And this one is the gem, though. This was a UKG 90% brand new case style. So very, very high grade, and just displays beautifully with that etched accessory case. That is a gorgeous looking figure. Look how clean the utility belt is on this guy. I mean, the bright white figure. This is as factory fresh as it gets. And it was deserving of this final sales price, 333 pounds, which is 401 US dollars. I thought that was a great buy. I know that seems like a lot of money for a loose graded Cloud Car pilot, but if you'll remember last year, CIB sold an AFA 85 Plus for almost $900, so over double this price. So I think for a UKG 90% brand new case style, and as flawless as this one looks, I mean, this is beautiful, beautiful looking example. That was a great buy in my mind, 400 US dollars for that one. Next up, I got a couple of different Lily Lettys that sold. This was a UKG 70% Lily Letty Boba Fett, and let's see what variant it was. This is the No COO Scar, and this is the. It looks like it's this. It looks like it's the double scar. I'm not sure though. It's hard to see. On that right hand leg, there's usually either a single scar or a double scar, and to me it looks like the double scar, but I don't know for a fact on that one. But you can see some heavy discoloration to the rocket pack there, but pretty great looking example. I mean, I would argue that this is probably a little bit undergraded. It was graded 70%. I would say this feels to me more like a 75, but pretty nice example. But I thought that price was great, 310 pounds, which is 372 US dollars plus $50 shipping. That's a good buy. That's a good buy. Ungraded, they can sell for this all day long. I would argue again that this is probably a little undergraded, which is kind of rare with UKG. Usually UKG is about a half a point higher than AFA, but maybe the limbs were loose or something else was, kind of detracting from it. I mean, the rocket pack is probably why it got the 70%. It has very obvious plastic degradation on the back of the rocket there. You can see it's kind of a grayish hue to the back, the neck armor area as well as to the backpack. So that's probably why it got the 70%. But again, I would argue that's a really nice display piece for that price. And then finally, for the Lily Lettys, this was a UKG 80% Burgundy Cape Squid Head, another beautiful Lily Letty, and this is a pretty desirable variant and continues to hold its own in terms of price point. This one sold for 560 pounds, which is about 673 US dollars. And again, I know that seems like a lot of money, but this is a very tough to find variant, and they can sell for this price all day long ungraded. So to get one loose graded like that, I think that was a really great price. Next up, we're going to dig into some last 17. First off is the Imperial Gunner. This one kind of snuck through the auction, and I don't know why it sold so cheap. This was an uncirculated 90 grade Imperial Gunner, and I don't know where the weapon is. Let's see if we can take a look at the label here to see if it was... Yeah, so this was an uncirculated 90, and it says no weapon. So this one was taken off of a card, and it did not have the weapon inside. My guess, it was probably a Tri-Logo, if I had to guess, because sometimes the Tri-Logos did not have the weapons inside, so that's probably what this one was. But an uncirculated 90, it is the older case style, but that's a gorgeous figure for 305 US dollars, plus 750 shipping. I thought that was a steal of a deal, and I guess it just fell underneath the radar on that one, but that was a really great price, and well done on that final sales price there. Next up was an uncirculated 85 Hanan Carbonite. This one had the older case style. And again, this was offered by CIB in an auction. This one sold for $435 plus $10.55 shipping, another pretty fair price. It seems like Hanan Carbonite, whether it's the old case or the new case, it's always between $350 and $450. So that was kind of right in line with market for that one. Next up was a UKG 90% Luke Indoor Poncho. Beautiful figure with the brand new case style there. Just a gorgeous example. That one sold for 311 pounds, which is $375 US. Again, a very fair sales price, even accounting for the global shipping program. That's about, let's call it $425 to $430. That's well within market for, especially for a 90% grade UKG. That was a really good buy there. Next up was an uncirculated 85 Size Noodles and Max Rebo band. I don't like this case. I've gone on record on this. There's something about this case style that really bugs me. It just doesn't present that well to me. It didn't stop the bidding on it. So here's the label: Black Flute, Silver Mics, Uncirculated 85. So somebody took this out of the packaging, which is really awesome. It's really awesome packaging. And it's a shame to go from that awesome packaging to this, which I don't think presents well personally, but that's just my personal opinion. But still, it did not stop the bidding. 41 bids on this one, $814 US plus $25 shipping on that one. So another big boy price for an uncirculated designation. Here was a UKG 80% R2D2 pop-up lightsaber. So another last 17 gem. 80, 90 were the sub scores. 80%, 90. And again, you know, these last 17 R2D2 pop-ups, they continue to command big money. 561 pounds, which is $675 US. That's a nice looking display. And then finally, this is the gem of the last 17s. I could not believe this final sales price. Now, admittedly, it had the brand new case style, and it was a UKG 90%, which is very, very tough to do with a Luke Stormtrooper. Luke and Stormtrooper disguise, they usually get discoloration to the limbs, but look how bright white this gorgeous example was. I mean, this is card fresh example, and just perfect, really. And that one sold for 1,050 pounds, which is $1,263 US, plus another $84 shipping if you were buying it over here in the US and had to use the GSP. So that's a big number. That's over $1,300 US plus applicable sales taxes. So just a big number, but you have to remember that it is a 90%. I mean, you can only imagine what an AFA 90 would go for. I would think it would have to be close to $1,500 or $1,600, if not more, for an AFA 90 example, loose graded. But pretty eye-popping price there for a last 17 Luke Stormtrooper, but it was certainly every bit deserving of that grade based on the photos. Anyway, that's all I really had for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon.